Okay, this video tutorial will cover the creation and publishing of news items, or posts as they're called, on the Rathfarnham Primary School website. You'll be familiar with this news area on the site. When you arrive at this the top level news area, it brings in all news items in chronological order. Visitors can then click on each one and view the full news post. I'll go into detail in this in a bit, but when you're reading an individual post news item, this image at the top is called the inside post thumbnail. And on this individual news item we have the same image used as the featured image, and the featured image is used at various sizes all over the site. So I think on other areas of the site we might have a recent school news here, and if you'd assigned a featured image to the school news, you'd see the little image here. These three items need a featured image applying to them ideally. Okay, so how do we go about adding a news item and assigning it so that it appears when people filter the news by year group? Well, if you open another tab in your browser and point it at exactly the school web address, and then /wp-login.php. That's what we called our back-end login page. So if you use your username and password that you've been assigned or set up with, and then click on the login button, you should be presented with some dashboard similar to this. One thing to quickly check is, if you haven't done so already, is to update your profile and make sure it's got your correct email address about here, and also that you change your password to the one provided and then hit update profile. Okay, if we then go to posts, or all posts page, you'll see a list of all your own posts, news posts. I'll call them posts. They're what we call news items or news articles, but they're known within this system as posts. Any that you've added or created will be listed here. And we're now going to create a new one, so I'll put add new up here. Okay, we give the post a title, so it might be something that's happened at school or you've done with the students. So I'm going to put a museum trip. For year 4. Okay, and I have some content already prepared. I wrote this over the weekend, saved it in a Word document. Now you can paste that, just do a copy and paste from Word straight into the system here. Sometimes if you get a lot of formatting and styling in Word that you don't want to bring across, you can click on this button here, this plain text, and it will strip out any formatting. Alternatively, if you've done a bit of styling and you want to bring that across, but you don't want it to bring any underlying extraneous coding that Word can sometimes bring in, you can use the paste from Word button. So you click on that little button and then up pops this window and you paste in there and then insert, and it will bring in like headings, italics and the like. Okay. The next most important thing to do is to assign this news post to a category. The most important one is the year group it relates to. It might relate to more than one year group. If you want this news item to apply to everyone in the school, you probably want to put it in all years. This one's for year 4 specifically, or relates to year 4. And it also was a trip to a museum. So I will add it to those categories as well. So you can assign it to more than one category. If a category doesn't exist and you feel like you need to add another category, so what you're doing doesn't quite fit, you can do add new category here. Put your new category name in there. And if it's like a child of an existing category, you can tell it the parent category here. Also, you don't have to, but adding a tag or two for the news post is advisable. So this is a bit more specific little information that doesn't warrant it's a new category or a category on its own. So here I might actually put the name of the museum and maybe where it was in London. It just helps people when they're searching for stuff on your site. Okay, at this point I'm going to hit Save Draft, because I don't want to publish this and send it to the front end of the site for the public to see just yet. I want to just check how it's looking. So if we use this preview button, that opens another tab in our browser and shows us just how our news post is looking. That's looking okay so far. I think this title's probably a bit big. I might make that slightly smaller. So I'll come in here, select the heading. It's currently set to heading 1. I'd probably try and stick to headings 2, 3, 4, 5 within your actual news posts. And then I'm going to hit Save Draft. Okay, we can assign a featured image for this news post, and that image will appear in other places on the site. For example, if we look in another page on the site, you'll see we have a recent news item. This is called a widget, a recent news widget, showing other more recent posts on the site. If you have a featured image, it will make a small version of it here. These three need them adding, and that's why we've just got this little square here. It just adds a bit of visual interest to the listing here. So to add that to our site, to our news post, we scroll down to the bottom here and set featured image, and I'm going to choose this image here of the children in the playground. If your image hasn't got a relevant title set, try and put something that makes, rather than just like a digital file name, put that in the title there. Also the alt text, that's for visually impaired viewers. It will speak this alt text instead of them, because they won't be able to see the image. And maybe just a couple of keywords that will help you search for this image later on should you require it. You then hit the Set Featured Image button down the bottom, and that will display there. If we want an image to appear at the top of our news post, so that when we actually go into it, it's displayed here at the top. Well, we need to set this image up here in just down the bottom here. It's called inside post thumbnail type, and you can actually have an image or a video or a slider up there. A slider is 3 or 4 images that slide left to right. We're just going to have one static image up there, so we click upload and it brings up our media manager. So you can upload an image here and now, or I'm going to pick one from the library already. Okay, let's go for this one here. And if we hit insert into post, probably the large one is fine. And now if I hit save draft, we'll do another little preview and see how our post is coming along. So if I now hit preview and go to the third tab in our browser, okay, you'll see here's our inside post thumbnail image appearing. There's the reduced size title I'd changed earlier. And you'll notice when you set this inside post thumbnail, if you click on it, it brings up a larger version of the image if it's been uploaded. Okay, that concludes this tutorial. In the following one, I'll cover inserting hyperlinks, images actually within the body of the news post, and hyperlinks and maybe some galleries. Okay.